And Esposito here with the Two Wheels of Freedom show number 118 with somebody I've actually known for a very long time, and I would consider, I don't know if anybody else does, the funniest announcer in motocross, and we need him at more shit. Kevin Kelly.
Hey.
What's up,
That'd be
Kevin?
fun.
What's going on?
Oh man, just hanging out, fixing to do my show later on tonight, and then I get to do your show today. So this
Yes.
is awesome.
This is a busy day for you.
Not really.
No.
It's really not. Look, I'm a fireman by trade, so I have to only work 10 days a month. So I have 20 days a month off to just dick around,
So you're
which is
basically
the best.
like you're like Adam Sandler when he married Kevin James.
Correct. Yes, I get to. Well, I'm Kevin James. He's a fireman, right? So I get to hang out
They were
10,
both
10 days a
firemen.
month. Oh, even better. Man, we get so much time for activities if we were both firemen. Number
So
one eight, you've done 118 of these. Davey Millsap's national number
yep,
when he turned pro.
yep. And I have the other podcasts I've done too. So I've done way too
Whoa.
many to not make any money off of these, Kevin.
You're telling me we were just talking about that. How do you monetize this stuff? But
So
yeah, I think if you go full time, you can monetize it. But
yeah.
I don't have the gumption.
Um so let's back it up. Uh this is Kevin Kelly. If you don't know, Kevin
Should.
started the very first, there wasn't even a term podcasting at the time when you guys started DMXS, which is Dead Motocrossers Society.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. It was. My buddy worked for Cannondale. Chris Williams lived down here, and then he moved to Connecticut to help build the now defunct Cannondale, which I hope you have one of those in your collector's items there. But he worked up there, and he's like a techie dude. And I'm like, dude, I think I can do something. Like, tell me if you can hear this, basically. And I'm like, it was like the what is it? Not Thomas Edison, but whoever invented this bell. Whenever he invented, like, can
Yep.
you hear me? And he goes, yes, I can hear you. I'm like, oh, we're good then. So I asked Joey Casey, our mutual friend,
Yep.
to come help me just talk shit. I don't know what it's going to be called. I don't know what it is. And we sent an email to Davey Coombs, and they posted it on their website. And that day we had Timmy Ferry and I think Timmy Ferry and Billy Lyles, yeah, or Ronnie Tishner, one of the two, as our first show. So no idea what we
Awesome.
were doing. We went and bought Walmart microphones. You remember those long, skinny ones you used to play MX versus ATV or whatever the talk
Yeah.
shit to your buddies? They're long and white.
Yeah.
We bought two of those and spliced them together. And you might have even, I don't know if when you did our show, if that mic setup was even the same. Maybe it was a little more serious by
I
then.
think you guys by then you had just put the studio in the back of your massage parlor, and we
Yes,
were
yes. That was a very profitable massage parlor. Shady trophy shop. Trophy shop is what we called it. Yeah.
so
But yeah, that's right. So
yeah,
it's a little more
they
legit
had a
now.
trophy shop, and then when you went into the back, like originally it was just a big open room, and then you guys had just like sectioned off an area to actually be the studio.
Yeah.
When I went in there, so I think it was like
Yeah.
brand new.
There's what?
It was brand new, like you guys had just
Yeah.
built that room.
Sounds like so the couch was not sticky at all. Everything was pretty
No, it
good
was
by then.
pristine. I put the first stain on there.
Yes, precisely. So we started doing that, and I still do it like an idiot. Like we have done that since 2001. Like my kid was 1 years old now; he's 23, which is just dumb. It's so weird, bizarre.
But you still do
So
DMXS as well? Because I see the other stuff pop up
no,
more.
Iser does the DMXS, and like everybody's like, "Oh, you guys good?" I'm like, yeah, me and him are great friends. But he moved up to the foothills of the Appalachian Trail, so he's 75 miles from me one way. So now I'm down here. I'm like, dude, I want to do my own thing, and we've kind of gotten away from what I like doing, which is really nonsense. Like
Right.
it got where we were jamming in like five guests. We opened the show and like 1 minute in, he goes, "All right, let's go to our first guest." I'm like, dude, I really like telling stories,
Yeah.
and that's kind of how my show, Winners Take Y'all, YALL, Winners Take Y'all, is has kind of evolved with two of my buddies that we've known each other for a long time, and they're great storytellers. And we do one guest, and we talk for like an hour, and those dudes have so much life experience, John and Nick. So it's just It's awesome. They're funny as shit, and so it's just a compliment to me. They're so stupid. I need stupid people in my life, so that's why we're here. That's why I'm talking to you.
That's right. That's how we even know each other. We're related
Yes,
by
because
stupid people. We realized both of us were stupid, so we were like, "Oh, there's a
yeah,
lot of common ground here."
there's a lot of stupid people around here. Joey, Joey was our conduit to stupid.
Yeah. And he's actually
Practice
the
track.
reason that I even moved to Georgia,
Yep.
um, because he was like, he just bought a house and he's like, I got a room if you want to rent a room. So I literally rented a room like as soon as he bought that house. And I was
Boom.
like, if you can find me a place to build a riding spot, I'll move down there. And then he talked to Rocky Moreland. And then I
Yep.
moved down a week later. And that weekend I moved down, we built the first landing over there.
Just like that. You got in there, got rocking and rolling. Was there lizards and snakes all over Joey's house at that time?
No,
No,
nope.
that was later on.
It was just he and I. He
Just
didn't
you and
even
him.
have dogs yet. While I
Yeah.
actually left for a trip and then I came back home at like 3 in the morning and he had gotten this pit bull and
Oh
it
yeah.
was
You just walked in. Oh,
dude and and it was not very happy and she was very big and I'm just like, oh my god, what is going on in the house right now? I can't even get in.
oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I got a pit bull that will kill you if you try to come
Yeah,
in. So I need to. You guys got to meet.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, and let me. I'll go ahead and preface this. I'm in a townhouse right now. Normally, I'd be in my nice little house up in Cartersville. My house burned down,
oh whoa.
literally. Yeah, me being a fireman. Yeah, it's not something you put out on Facebook like, "Yo, what's up, people? Burnt my house down. I'll see y'all this Friday." You know what I mean?
So you were
It burnt
like
all the way
at the
down.
fire station and
No, I was actually there. I was there, and we left for a wrestling tournament. And our ring cameras show 10 minutes later. You see us letting our dog out. He wants to see the turkeys. We let him go see them. We come back in, and we have cameras everywhere, so it shows the timestamp of everything. And 10 minutes later, the house is fully involved, like smoke inside, and my dog didn't make it. So
oh my
we
god.
just got through that through the holidays. So they're building the house. Insurance has been awesome, but like here I am in this little townhouse. But that's where we used to do my show from, was at my house. So
Uh
we're rebuilding that, and it's like, all right, here's my PSA to all you people. Like, go through and video all your shit at your house. Like, open every drawer of every cabinet. Go in there, open everything up, and run a camera through there and video it, and then put that memory card in a fireproof safe, and just forget about it because you are gonna need that. Like, this is my second house fire. My mother died in 2000 from a house fire.
oh my
Joey lived.
god, dude.
Yeah, how many people you know have been through one? This is my freaking second one. Like, legit, not a little baby house fire to the ground.
And lost something in both of
Yeah,
them.
yeah, big time. My mother and that one, and then Kyle and Joey then moved in together at that house after they rebuilt it, and then this one happened. So I've lost everything. Like, when I say, I told my wife, I'm like, there's nothing on this earth that proves we were here. Not a photo, not a piece of paper, like nothing. It's bizarre. Like, the oldest thing I have was the shirt, underwear, pants I had on it. Took it to the ground, and as a fireman, that rarely happens. We can usually get a stop on it, but it had such a head start up in the ceiling, and it ran forever. So
What was it?
that's
Do you
my now
know what
some
caused it?
electrical. It was We've been in that house 11 months, dude. It was a custom
Oh,
house. I Everything was our design, everything, and it was something up in the attic that burnt. So it's got all that time to go in the attic. Versus down here, you'd see it. It's just a
right.
void space, huge space. So anyway, that's my PSA to anybody that gives a crap. Like, go through and video your shit because you're gonna have to know the name brand of it, when it what you got, like, exactly, because they'll give you $8 for it. You start adding up knives and spoons and ammo and guns and t-shirts and every pillowcase you own. That shit is you can't do it. You cannot do it.
At
I
least
bet
you
you a
were
million
only
bucks.
there 11 months. Imagine if you were there
Yeah.
11 years and then you just had shit jammed
Fuck.
everywhere.
Right. Yeah. We just built this house, and we were in an RV for 18 months. So it was like Loretta Lynn's for 18 months in this fucking RV. Excuse my language. So then we got
You're
out of the
fine.
RV. So yeah, you're right. We don't have a lot of stuff. We just purged a lot of shit. So anyway, we had what we needed. Everything was new and nice, and now it's not. We'll get to rebuild. The insurance is awesome, so all that's good. Like, people have asked, like, what can we do? Nothing, because they've been great and whatever, but nothing really survived. Which, for me and you, like a guy like me and you, like, there's posters or stickers, shit that you thought was
Yeah.
really cool that had no
Yeah.
value. That is really a big bummer not to have.
Right. That's just sentimental memories
Mhm.
of being here or doing that or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Hey everybody, I'm interrupting this podcast to tell you something very important. April 19th and 20th, Two Wheels to Freedom Fest is going to be at Cedar Grove MX Park in Winsboro, South Carolina. We're going to have dirt drags for the Harleys and the dirt bikes. We're going to have pit bike races. We're going to have camping for with a 21 and up area. We're gonna have a bar. We're gonna have amateur freestyle motocross contest. I'm gonna jump the Harley. That's April 19th and 20th, Winsboro, South Carolina. Go to twowheelstofreedom.com for the link to tickets. Hope to see you there. Yeah, that's
All the
rough.
events I've done, and just like my dad's, our racetrack as a kid, all the signs, and I did flyers, and I kept everything. I
Uh,
had magazines and plastic like you would as a kid for comic books. I had I think probably 10,000 magazines, and they're like 15 bucks a piece. So I'm going to assign a value to that too. So they're all
yeah,
from the late 70s, early, all the way to the 90s. Yeah, I was a pack rat, but I kept cool shit, at least what I thought was cool.
yeah, exactly. So let's
So there you go.
back it up. You sorry to just be like, all right, enough of your tragic story. We're back to
Yes. Anyway, let's get
the
back to Moto. No, I'm the same way, dude. Like I just laugh about it. Like as soon as that fire was happening, I just redone my yard. Like really went at it, and not to derail you, but I told the fireman, like, dude, y'all gonna fucking make a mess up here? Like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
I was totally kidding. Like they were literally on scene. I was already making jokes because that's the only way you can get through it.
Yeah,
So
I used to get
anyway,
hurt and start making jokes, and then people are like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm either going
right.
to make fun of stuff or cry." So,
Yeah, that's it. That's all you can do. I don't want to cry. That's
yeah,
stupid.
exactly. I don't want you to see that I have feelings, so I'm just gonna
Yeah,
make fun of everything.
yeah, you idiots.
So like I was saying, you grew up basically into motocross.
Oh, I don't think. Yeah, you know, when you asked me to do this, I'm like, hey, what do I have going on? I'm like, I told my wife, I said, if there was some sort of degree, I have like a PhD in just moto, like
Yeah.
every aspect of it. From my dad owned a motorcycle shop. That was the first. My first experience was we owned a Kawasaki dealership, and I'll say this about my dad: like he did everything he did, he was the best at it. And I know that sounds like some kid talking about his dad, but he was a teacher. He was vice principal. Kicked ass. Took the golf team to the state championship. Never played golf, so he quit that whole profession as a teacher. Bought a motorcycle shop, and with three other buddies, that was the number one Kawasaki dealership in all of America. What came
Oh
out of
wow.
Mableton, Georgia, some small little town. And they would fly to these meetings. The Shogun Award is what it was called, and all the people would want to know who were these badasses that sold more bikes, and it would be my dad and two of his buddies. So he did that, and then he opened up a track, and then we got the first area qualifier for Loretta's in 1982. Then we got a AMA Pro National in '85. So like the dude just crushed it. Like everything he did, he just went immediately skipped 19 steps, 10 years of experience, and just dominated it. So anyway, that's kind of my experience in terms of moto. Like I've lived it. Like that's all I've ever known is dirt bikes.
And your brother was very fast.
Yeah, Kyle's good. Ken was a
What
team green
happened to
rider in
you?
'88. Oh, I totally skipped over me. That's not a joke either, man. I went riding for the first time, and it was like it's embarrassing how slow I am. Like, are you really a Kelly? Like, your mom was good, your dad, your grandparents, your
Your mom rode
second
too.
uncle. No, but like, she
Uh,
would have beat me. I know she would have beat me. Like, I didn't like jumping shit. I'm such a pussy. Like, whatever. I love to ride, but I suck so bad. Like, we'd go to races and we'd have all our shit laid out, like 8 motorcycles because we all rode or whatever. And then it's time for me to ride. Then I'm like fouling plugs, and my brother would always save my race bike. Like at the end of the year, it's like it just got broke in. The way I rode it, it was just like you had just broken it in. He goes, "All right, sick. I'm saving your race for Loretta's." I'm like, "Whatever, dude. Like, have at it." It's like a brand new. It's like you just peeled the plastic off of
yeah,
it after I've been riding it all year because I pushed the suspension like that far, and he needed it that far, so it was all plush for him, and it was
yeah.
jam up. He just had a great race bike at any time.
Awesome. And you guys had Bremen. Was
Yeah.
there a track before Bremen, or is that the original one that he opened?
No, we had one in South Georgia. I think
Okay.
Hare Scrambles is what my dad and them got into first. Zebulon off 75, and then they moved up and just ball ground. We opened a track up in ball ground and ran that for like 5 years. That's where we had our first area qualifier, and big 172 acres, huge track, huge sprawling track for 1980, 1979. And then they sold that, and then we bought Bremen, and then there you go.
How much? How old are you? Because I'm like, you're saying this stuff, and I'm like, I didn't feel like you were that much older than me.
I was born in 72, so I would be
Okay.
51.
Yeah, I'm
And I
44.
just, yeah, so you're kind of close to my little brother's age. He's
Yeah.
47.
But
Yeah,
there's
you and
just a
Kyle are very
window
close,
where
man.
you're like saying years, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would
we're
have been,
overlapping for sure.
I would have been, but I'm like, I would have been like 4.
Two,
I would.
3. Yeah. Yeah, so I got to water the track, the AMA Pro National at Six Flags. So my mom worked at Six Flags for 35 years. She was like the fifth employee hired there. So she worked in finance, and my dad went to college with the vice president Spurgeon Richardson. So he's like, "Hey, Spurgeon, I got an idea," and he was like, "All right, well, let's run it up the flagpole." And my dad went and talked to Bill West and swooped his event, Bill West, on Gatorback. So Bill gave my dad that date for him to run a pro national, and there you go, sight unseen, which is just crazy. So can you imagine some guy coming to the AMA like, "Hey, man, I got an idea.
Yeah.
Have you ever ran a pro national? No. Is the track there? No. But trust me, we can do it." And they're like, "Okay, you got 6 months, get it done." Six
Yeah.
months, just do it. It's bizarre. I don't know how they did it. My
Tr-
dad had the gift of gab. I guess that's why they're the number one Cali dealership in America. He could talk shit.
Yeah. Dude, your dad was awesome. I only met him, later on, and he was still, I don't know how old he was, but he was
He was awesome.
still just like would sit there and bullshit with you and just like was witty
Out
and
drink you.
yeah.
That was it. No, that was his deal, man. Like when people came to our track, like that was his happy time. Like when people from all over America, our big regionals and stuff, he absolutely loved meeting people, taking care of them, anything they needed, driving them to get tires, fixing their shit. Like he just absolutely loved when people showed up. He had so much charisma, for sure. That was his deal, no doubt. Everybody loved him.
So that's how you got into announcing.
Yes, me and Joey both. My
Well,
dad
that's
made
what
us.
when I first showed up, Joey was the announcer, and then I
Yeah,
met you and you had a show, and I'm like, why the hell isn't Kevin announcing any of this stuff?
yeah. I had to run it. Like, dude, I mean, most of the time, I would literally get there and I would water all day, then jump on a tractor, plow it up. Then I would run the two card. I would do the riders meetings, and I ran the two card right there at the starting line. Then that's where we announced. So I'd announce the race too. And of all the years, I'm like, we never even had an announcer's tower. And I was like an announcer. Me and Joey were like the guys. I never even got us 1 foot off the ground. We suck so bad as a promoter to give you guys any kind of place to freaking announce from. But yeah, so Joey, I always let him do it because I'm like, man, I just don't have time. You do it, and then he did it. He was really good. Joey was super
Yeah,
fun to work with and silly as hell. So obviously he's stupid just like you and I. So
yeah.
that's why he was great.
Yeah, I agree. I really liked because I went into some races there. I really like Joey announcing. Like I said earlier, I love. I think you're hilarious as far as announcing. I hear you on the amateur nationals, and I'm always
Yeah.
like, I asked you probably literally 15 years ago or more. I was like, why don't you do any of the bigger stuff? And you were just like, ah. I feel like now, with knowing your sense of humor and listening to like Loretta's and stuff, they give you guys a little bit more leeway to joke
Yeah. Yeah.
around.
Yeah. Yeah. That long form stuff, like 6 days at Loretta's, it's not like a pro national. Like that shit doesn't translate when you have a 5 hour window to jam out, your heat races, your practices, and all. There's time to be funny. Like hell, I do Daytona Supercross every year. I'm the live event announcer at Daytona with Jason Wygant and Rob Vidos, and I still get my stuff in. And
Yeah,
nobody's ever came and snatched that microphone out of my hand. Like
yeah,
I'll make Weege laugh, and I know I'm doing okay if I make that dude laugh. But yeah, those 6 day races, I guess that's why the amateur stuff really appeals to me because you can have fun with it. And I was one of those families out there, so I can totally feel it. Like me and Kyle going to Loretta's and Minios and just us against the world, and out there in the middle of nowhere and not knowing anybody. So I feel like I can empathize with those families and have some fun and make it a little less stressful. Because, dude, I know what it feels like. You're in the trenches, and it's the most important race ever.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
not like you having fun with your mom and dad is the most important thing ever, but getting those dudes to see the forest beyond the trees is whatever. But
Of
yeah, so
course.
long format, love it. Short supercrosses and stuff, love doing those. But uh, I wouldn't have gotten to do as much as I do now if I couldn't have a bunch of fun and be a dipshit.
Maybe I feel like the announcing style needs to evolve a little bit. Like I guess it has been evolving, like from especially for like just Supercross, basically. I'm talking about for the most part. Like we had dumbed everybody down for a while, and I'm like, you guys are just totally not appealing to any of us actual moto fans. You're trying to get like the random guy that's flipping through the channels. But I feel like they've gone away from that, but I feel like adding in a little bit more humor. I mean, I guess the NFL is not funny. I don't know. Some people, announcers
I
have
don't
to
know,
be
man. They're
sliding stuff in.
I think they do. Like Pat McAfee from ESPN, he's kind of this new guy that doesn't wear any sleeves. That's his deal, and he's a kicker from whoever, but he's a kicker. He's funny. He's got a show, and he does some commentary. I don't know if he necessarily calls the games, but I guess they somebody feels like there's some room for personality like that. So those, like I said, those longer events, like we started MX Sports Center at Loretta's, which are those everyday like Sports Center highlight packages from Loretta's, and we there was
Yep.
plenty of room for that kind of nonsense. So we got to do that, and announcing all day at Loretta's was funny. And I did some TV stuff, and there really wasn't much room for that. They're like, just get in, get out, and say what you got to say, call the race. And there's just not. It happens so quick. There's anytime now I guess they've packed in so many pre-scripted segments that make money, where you could have a couple of minutes to talk nonsense, but now they have the science of Supercross, or they have
Mm,
the Thor move of the night, or whatever. You know what I mean? So there's just not a ton of freestyle room. You'll see Wygan in there. This is his first night. This coming Saturday night, he's getting his shot literally to host that race. Like he's kind of done some support stuff, but this weekend will be his first weekend to be where Lee Diffie or Ralph Shaheen or Art Edson was. So
awesome.
let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can do. And I'm stoked for him, man. He's worked a long ass time. Of course,
Yeah.
he's the voice of motocross and everything else, but this is his first shot, and he's super stoked. He's who I have on tonight. I have him, and I think a guy from Feld to talk kind of logistics and Supercross. So kind of excited for him. I was at his wedding, and I'm a big fan of his.
So I met Wygant way
Yep,
back at one of your
definitely,
events at the
definitely.
massage parlor. That's it. I'm gonna
Let's call it
refer
that.
to it as that the whole
Absolutely.
time.
Yeah, it'll be just a sweatshop, horse shop. Just make it nastier every time we describe it. It gets worse and worse. You did, and he's awesome. He's not changed, not one
No, and I
freaking
have
bit.
run into him
Awesome.
at like Supercross or something, and he'll be like, "Hey," which
Yes,
there's a million
he's
people
that
there,
dude.
and the fact that he even remembers who I am at this point is very
He
impressive.
does. He
I,
does. He's a freaking weirdo like that. Like we're big baseball nerds too, and I just texted him last night. I'm like, dude, 21 days till pitchers and catchers report, and he'll start rattling off. Like, you think he's good at moto? He's equally that good at freaking football and baseball, which is just dumb. Like, how can you be that much of a fly and remember all that shit? But that's just
yeah,
why he's that good at it.
yeah.
Freak show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not how I am. I'm the opposite. I'm like, what? It was, how many kicks did he do? What happened?
Yeah. What was that? Yeah. I wish I could, man. Like I watched all of it. Like, where did it go? Like I can tell you every Milli Vanilli lyric, which is just wasted allocated space in my brain. So dumb.
I'm
So
still
stupid.
retaining the 90s Supercross because
I got that.
I had them all on VHS.
Yep, I used to till my shit burned up. That was cool.
Ah, just rubbing it in now.
Everything, everything, man, everything. Oh man, every time I see a commercial, I look at my wife. Man, we used to have one of those,
Yeah,
and it's just a vacuum. Oh,
yeah.
we have one of those. Remember that? Stupid. Sucks.
So tell me about Winners Take Y'all. That was, we already explained how you got into it, but are you guys are on the you're on
Verb
somebody's
podcast, whatever.
okay, Verb. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna say the wrong one for sure.
yeah. I had talked to them about it. They're trying to create like their equivalent of what's that thing? Damn
Pornhub.
it, what's that? No, not Pornhub. Definitely not Pornhub.
OnlyFans.
Nobody wants to. OnlyFans, yes. No. What is that big media conglomerate that's all sports? Like they have, oh shit. But anyway, they have a bunch of just affiliates everywhere. Barstool.
I was
So they
just
want
gonna
to have
say
their
that.
version of Barstool, like with a bunch of different dudes doing a bunch of different shit, just different kinds of, just tons of video content. So I told them I was kind of thinking about this, and they're like, yeah, let's do it.
It's
So
just gonna be in the
I
moto realm though.
yeah, yeah. So they
Yeah.
got some kids that do amateur stuff. They got kids that do nothing but privateer dudes, and then we just kind of do everybody. And our wheelhouse, honestly, I mean, we're older dudes, but I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't click because I still know all these kids. Like I announce every one of these dudes, like everybody currently racing. I have seen them on the podium at Texas, at Florida, at
Yep.
Mammoth, at wherever. So I have a great relationship with them, and that's where the advantage of emceeing or hosting all these amateur races for me has kept me directly dialed in with their families. I know what they do, like all the bullshit off the track. So Anyway, so our wheelhouse seems to be some of the older shit. I really enjoy. We had Ricky Johnson on, David Bailey, and Bob Hanna. Like all these dudes are freaking amazing interviews and still relevant. Like David goes, dude, he even hit me up and goes, man, am I relevant? And I said, dude, David Bailey, you are still relevant. You still move the needle. Like if you go back and listen to his interview, it's like he says some of the most impactful shit, and it makes you understand why the hell he was so good on the broadcast. He's my all time favorite color analyst on Supercross,
I almost
hands
think
down.
he was, like we were talking about, he was too in depth for the time.
He might have been, dude. He's like when I watch baseball, I love because my kids both pitched. So I was like, tell me why that curveball is snapping off. Tell me why his stuff breaks so good. And David Bailey, like I heard it described to me like this. They go, David Bailey gets a channel that nobody else gets, and he lets you tune in with him. And it's fucking true, dude. Like
Yeah.
he was so good at articulating what that guy was doing, what he was thinking, why he was able to clear that, why he was that much quicker. And it may have been too highbrow for the drive-by fan, for sure. And I've been told that through other people that have had meetings to do TV to work in that realm of Supercross. That they're like, look, we have to make sure that for the fan that's driving by and checking this out, you can't go so in depth. And that's why they say the orange KTM.
But exactly, but this is what I was
I
saying
get it.
before. You're leaving out the whole, we're the people that are watching. You're going to dumb down all the broadcasts so that maybe, like some random person can understand it enough to become a fan. Meanwhile, you're like, all of us that are already fans and know all this stuff are like, we know the clutch is on the left side, like, give me a break.
Yeah, yeah. I don't, man. I'd like. It's funny you're saying that because Wygant, we were literally in our meeting our little text chat. We're interested in what is the storyline coming out because he's got a meeting at 1 o'clock, and that's my phone is going off right now. And we were like, look, when you get done with your meeting, I want to know what's the direction the TV crew is taking. Like, what's their approach? Is it Jason Anderson, Jet Lawrence? Is it holy shit? The AP's got the red
Mm,
plate going into next weekend. What about Chase Sexton? Is that over? What about Vince Friese? He's like, sick, dude. Y'all take all the media. I'm cool with not taking dudes out for a weekend. So many good storylines, and
yeah.
I love knowing the behind the scenes shit of like who comes to what, like who's in charge in that meeting. Like, are they listening to Weech and like, yeah, dude, that's a great idea. We're gonna follow this storyline. And we'll find that
That's a
out.
good question. I guess you'll find that
Yeah,
out tonight when you do your show. Yeah, I'm going through
done.
your guys' Instagram here, and everybody that's watching can see it. But yeah, Ezra Lusk, R.J. Hampshire, Damon Bradshaw, um, like,
Yeah, they're top shelf dudes, man. And
dude. I
these are
mean, Timmy Ferry, AP. I mean, killing
Eddie
it.
Coombs, Rick Johnson,
Oh, you had Jared
AP.
on. I had Jared on my
Yes,
podcast as well.
yes, yeah. Jared was honestly, it was going to be me, Jared, and Nick Blackman to do this show initially. So Jared was on the first couple of shows, and the schedule is just too much, man. That guy works so hard, and
I know.
I felt bad. Like, yeah, I was like, I don't want people to think we kicked you off, but like, dude, he's always welcome. He's funny. He's got such a bizarre take on stuff, and I absolutely love it. And
Yeah.
just having him in the room, like us four, we don't even need a guest. Honestly, that first show we had no guests. I just introduced everybody to Jared, to Nick, to John, and I just said, "Take it away, boys." And dude, it was epic because they all have a Moto BMX background, and they all have dumb stories about you know going to races and eating wet meat that floated in a cooler for 3 days and shit like that.
I got a
They
good
call
story
it was
about
it
that. um,
Yeah, so it's just stories for me, man. I love
yeah,
stories. I love everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. Like that's why everybody at Loretta Lynn's, all 1,300 of those kids, dude, they're every one of them is the baddest dude back home. Every one of them had to sell their soul and mortgage shit to get to that race, and so we did too. As kids, me and my brother going up there for the first time. I was the only one. I went up there with him. It was me and him. I was 19. He was 15. That was our trip. Me and him. A
awesome.
week.
That was your first trip without the parents, you're saying?
I mean, no, we had done races
Okay.
before, but like that was a week long Loretta Lynn's. Like, what family would send their 19-year-old kid and their 15-year-old son who qualified for the 500 BC class and a 125 C class? All right, boys, good luck. Here's $200. We got your hotel room handled. Go get them.
How old is he riding 500s?
15. Yeah, dude, how dumb is that?
Dude.
I talked about that, dude. Like, so at the regional. I was in charge of bike maintenance. My dumbass, like I'm the guy that I said, just tighten the shit out of everything, like over tighten everything.
Yeah.
So I had cinched down, I put his front wheel back on, and apparently the forks were V'd in. Like I tightened the
Uh-huh.
shit
Oh
out of the
yeah,
whatever, and I just
you didn't let it float first.
correct, correct. So he was like, dude, this thing's not handling worth shit. I said, dude, stop being a pussy, man. Stop being a pussy. He's 15 on a 500 at a sand track in South Carolina at Society Hills. I'm like, just fucking man up. Everybody else is doing it. And when we get out there, he goes, dude, something is not right about this bike. I'm like, dude. So it's me and him like dissecting this bike. I undo the pinch bolts on the axle. He goes, I'm like, oh, my bad, dude. That's on me. And he went
uh,
out and waxed the dudes the next round. But he rode the Vet BC. It was like 500. It was the first year Loretta's I offered it. It was like, you want to race a 500 A, you can be a B or a C rider. You can be 400 years old or you can be 15. Let it rip. So we borrowed a 500 from our buddy named Tank, of course. And Kyle raced that and qualified, and he qualified in the 125 C class. So against Ryan Terlecki and Clark Stiles, they were there. He got a
wow,
fifth one moto. I think it was his best moto. But yeah, it was funny as shit.
dude.
So there you
Um,
go. That's stories. Like everybody has
yeah,
those fucking stories. Like we're one of 1,300 people that's our little dumb story, and everybody there has that same story.
yeah, yeah. I agree, and like I think that though, with just it being you guys on the show and no guests, you've cultivated people around you, and I know Jared obviously, and he's hilarious
Awesome.
and just a very interesting person. So I think you've just cultivated people around you where and obviously your partners with the show are of a similar mindset. So it's like you're basically built in so that you don't actually have to have other people, but it just obviously you want to the guests you're having are amazing and you want to hear the stories from RJ and whoever else.
Yeah, and just hear their stories. That's why I mean, honestly, the thing that I think of for DMXS and why it worked was we sometimes we get guys on like RJ Hampshire and really just dabble in moto. We really just touch on moto, like, hey, whatever, good weekend, whatever, but let's talk about baseball. Like he went to Cooperstown to play baseball. RJ was a pitcher and could have played high school, college baseball, and we'd go down those weird roads and just whatever. That's why I enjoy when they take the helmet off and they're not dirt bike dudes and they're just normal dudes. What are
Yeah.
you into?
Yeah, that's what we did with Two Wheels to Freedom at first. It was basically like I would be like, we interview freestyle riders, but we own like most of the podcasts were just talking about, like you said, random stuff. And then eventually, like we had somebody that made a snow bike for X Games, and we actually sat there and asked him all about the snow bike because we were just generally interested in it. But 90% of the time, it was just us talking shit to one
Yeah.
another.
Yeah, because and that's why we felt like our shit would still work and still translate because look, man, there's 900 podcasts that are out there that, hey, let's talk about your race weekend and
Yeah.
your suspension setup and your frame geometry. Did you run the steel frame, the aluminum frame? That's all done, man.
Yeah,
It's handled, it's covered.
and they're your fantasy league and whatever else.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody's doing what we're doing, which is just being complete dipshits. And we've kind of cornered the market. We've been doing that for 22 years. So yeah, there you go.
Exactly. Um,
Stupid sells. Not really.
well, it's entertaining. You got to figure out how to sell it. That's the issue.
Yeah, I've got to monetize this. That's the big word.
How
Just
many?
monetize this shit.
Yeah. How many podcasts do you do a week?
Like 40.
There
We
you
do
go.
six
That's
a day.
enough to monetize, I
Yeah.
think.
Every hour. No, we do one a week, and that's enough. That's hard enough to get these guests to. I feel
I
like I'm
know, believe
harassing
me.
them. I've been hunting Cooper Webb down. Like I feel like I'm like creeping around trees like that dude in the yellow shirt going, oh yeah, Cooper
Yeah.
Webb got a free minute on, on Thursday. But he's been so cool. He's like, man, I'm sorry. He was all set to do it. Then he called me back. I got a doctor's appointment. And he goes, oh no, I can't do it tomorrow because I'm at that Carson Mumford's place. They're all chasing dry motocross tracks up in California,
Mm,
so everybody's shot out to ride. So he's going to do it next Wednesday. But yeah, I some of the dudes are awesome and super cool, and he has been. Nobody's given me like the cold shoulder, but it's work, and I try to give them the freedom and not harass them 8 times a year. Like Weege will be the second guy I've had on twice since April of last year. I've run consistently. Not nobody's been on twice,
yep.
so I'm not messing with them too often.
Yeah, that's good. That's why I have dirt bike related podcasts and then the Clint Esposito show all on the same channel so I can have content come out and not harass just because you're
Yeah,
right, riders are sometimes hard to, and I've even talked to two riders recently that were like, my level or a little bit bigger, and they're like, "Oh, I don't think anybody's same what you said. I don't think anybody's interested in my story." And I'm like, "Yeah, they are. The
there's
people
something
that
there.
watched you back in the day would still like
Yeah.
to hear the behind the scenes of the video they
Mhm.
saw you in or whatever, or even what you're doing now."
Yeah, like when we had Rick Johnson on, like Rick Johnson has been interviewed 9 million times,
Yep.
literally since 1986. He told a story, and then David Bailey commented on my post. He goes, "I did not know that." David Bailey did not know Rick Johnson got signed to Fox whenever he was at Motocross of Nations. Some skinny kid comes up with a clipboard and whatever, and it's Pete Fox going, "Hey man, I'm Pete Fox. I want you to ride for us. Here's pictures of the gear that I think you should wear next year. I know Yamaha's going white, so I'm going to have white gear with yellow and blah blah blah. Here's what it is." Rick Johnson goes, "Shit, that's awesome. There it is." And nobody ever heard that story. Like
And was
how, I
that the
don't know, but
first
like
person they signed?
no, they'd already had dudes.
Oh,
Like this
okay.
is '86 by then, so yeah, they had guys, but like he was the big catch, and Fox was really taking
Yeah,
off, and Pete had went there for that mission to get it done.
that's
I
awesome.
mean, that's
Yeah.
where I got my show from. Was from Loretta Lynn's whenever they did Radio Fox.
Oh, yep.
I used
I
to sit up there. My first year was '93, and they were like, "Hey, tonight we're going to call Jeremy McGrath in a hotel room somewhere. So let's see what Jeremy's up to. We're going to do our first ever Radio Fox tonight." So you just sat on the bleachers, or if you're back at your tent and had a radio, you could tune it to it
Yep.
and listen to Davey Coombs and Pete Fox call, Jeremy McGrath in his hotel room somewhere on a pro motocross national Saturday night, which was
Awesome.
dope as shit. Nobody was doing that in '93.
No,
You had
that's
no
cool.
idea what these dudes were like. That's why I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, I did one podcast in the early or the mid 2000s inspired by you, and then I never did one again until like 2016 or
Dude,
something.
that would have been huge for you. Like back if you'd
Dude,
have gotten in that early doing freestyle shit or
there's
whatever.
so much I screwed. Listen, we were talking about this earlier. 2005, I started releasing videos on YouTube.
You would have 1 trillion
Bro,
followers.
so they were on Paul Smith's page. A lot of those have like
Yeah,
60,000, 70,000 views, and then we just but my issue was I should have made him upload them on my page, and I should have
yeah,
kept growing that the whole time because it would be like you said the biggest freestyle page on the internet, and I
yeah,
just let that go. I started a podcast. I did one with Tim Boca, who now grooms the Ohio International. It's like some big motocross track in Ohio. I had
yeah.
him on, and then I just stopped that. And I mean, there's a lot of things where I was like, oh, my whole career, my uh, personal Instagram was private because I had a team page, and I'm just like, didn't,
This is just for us, boys.
dude, yeah, didn't, and everybody else from freestyle that I know has at least 10,000 followers. I have like I cannot get past 2,000. Every time I get like 2,000 and or no
One,
2,200. Once I get like 2,205, then I lose like 7 and now I'm like how
not
am
so
I
fast.
So,
You're not protecting your algorithm is off, and
yeah,
that's crazy, dude. You'd have been like whatever.
I know exactly. So,
Here we are, a couple of losers.
exactly reminiscing about how cool we were back in the day.
Yeah, we were so cool. We're so dumb. Dang it.
If
Yeah. So,
that's the thing.
I,
We were smart, but then ultimately dumb.
yes, I did not. Like, I have a good business sense, but this was so fun to me. I'm like,
It can't be
I
work.
just you can't make money doing this, right? You can't. No way. But yeah,
Yeah.
you turns out you can. Like, I know. I mean, I know Daniel Blair's probably making a little bit of money. I know that Steve Mathis obviously makes 6 figures doing his, but dude, he
Yeah.
goes full time from the time he gets up
Yes.
to the time he goes to bed. That's a full time job for him. I did not have that for sure. Did not have that kind of time.
Well, and he does the pulp show. He does the review show. He does the Steve
Fly,
Mathis show or something.
raceables
Yeah.
with Weege and Thomas, and yeah. So
I do think, and I don't know, I haven't asked anybody. I think re-raceables came from me watching old like Fresno Smooth, Crusty Demons. I watched them with everybody from them and had them online. And I almost think somebody saw that and then
Yeah, nothing's been, you know what I mean?
started
It's all
doing
been
it.
done before.
Yeah.
I had that same idea with Weege probably 15 years ago. We were talking about it at Racer X. I'm like, look, dude, I want to watch old Supercross races and I want to do it like Mystery Science Theater 2000.
I
Sit in your
remember
show
you
the back of our
saying
head.
this.
Yeah, that was my idea. I was like, I want to watch races and just poke dumb shit I see in the crowd, and let's just have fun and
I do
whatever.
remember you
So,
saying that now because I remember you saying the Mystery Science Theater
mhm.
thing like way back in the day.
Yeah, and we weren't the first because I'm still in their idea from 1989. So
Oh,
who
Mystery
knows?
Science Theater. Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, now Eli Manning and Peyton Manning kind of do it on. It's not re-raceables, but it's like a whatever a co-broadcast of. Yes, when you watch Monday Night Football, you can watch a funny version with Eli and Peyton, which is actually pretty damn entertaining. They have like
Yeah.
guest
So
celebrities on. It's pretty fucking cool.
so I call them companions because that's what
That's it.
Rogan exactly because that's what
Yes.
Rogan
Yeah.
started doing with the fights. So
Yeah.
then we started to watch some stuff because same thing. It's like you can watch the stuffy announcers on TV, or you can watch us, and we're just
Yep.
screwing around the whole time.
Well, here's the thing too. I found I guess it's an app, and I called Wygant one time. I'm like, dude, we need to do this. It's like a companion announcer broadcast app that does all that for you,
Mm,
creates a channel, and it's like you and another guy can just announce a race, and people can jump onto your channel. It's all done for you,
right.
which I thought was kind of cool, but never did it. Of course, that was 8 years ago, 10 years ago. Good idea,
I
dumbass.
wonder if that thing is still even exists.
Might be because I mean, it's all bundled up and made super easy for you to do. You could literally just point it in the direction of the broadcast you wanted to for it to scoop up, and then give you and the other guy an access point to MC it or whatever, and
Yeah.
then everybody else a link to go watch it.
Huh. So were
Yeah,
you playing the See, that's my thing with that is if you do it like they do the companions without watching it while the thing is live, so you got to have like both on.
right. The TV or something.
Yeah, because otherwise you're gonna get
Yeah, there's
flagged
some sort of.
for
That's a
uh
good point. Yeah,
copyright
there's
or
got to be
whatever
some
nowadays.
sort of copyright thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's why so there's some channels that post old freestyle events. So I
Hmm.
just go and look at whatever freestyle events they have up like in their entirety without it being flagged. So I'm basically using them to do all the footwork to be like,
Good for you.
"Oh, that one got flagged. We're not going to watch that
There you
one."
go. There you go. Smart.
So tonight you got Wygant and somebody from Feld. Do you know who you got next week or no? I was
Cooper.
excited. Okay, you're going to no, Cooper
Yeah.
Webb,
Yeah. Yeah.
not the other Cooper.
The other Cooper, who is, dude, he's having a freaking awesome year. That's the old Coop from 2 years ago, man. I love this last lap.
Yeah.
He has the best closing speed of anybody, honestly, I've ever seen. Late races, if he's within like 5 seconds, we're texting back and forth. I'm like, dude, he's within 5 seconds. And you're like, it's over. Holy cow! Next thing you know, it's 1.2.
I
He's got
would
a bike
like
link.
to see his lap times. Did they drop at the last like 5 minutes of the race?
I mean, maybe not. Maybe they just stay
He
right where they're
just
supposed
stays
to
the
be all
same
the way
the
to
whole
the
time.
end. And lap riders kind of hit that dude in front of him first, and he kind of slows him down, and they kind of check up, and he might go like those. There, I'm sure those lap 18 or 19 where he's just all in. But dude, he's done that
Yeah. No,
so many
that's
times like that.
yeah. If he's hovering around at all, how many
It's
times has
trouble,
it been like he's like in fifth until the last two or three
and he's in
laps,
second.
and then you're like, where the fuck did he come from? He was just riding around like,
Yeah, that when he had that little deal with Jason Anderson at A1, like he was out of there, and then boom, he crashed it over the tabletop and or whatever. And he was right there on Anderson, about to pass him.
yeah,
He's
and
there. He's got that speed back. Like, and when I saw him last year at some of the SMX rounds, I'm like, ugh, you're not.
yeah,
He did not look good
it
towards the end when he
did
made the
not look
move and
good.
rode a few rounds. I'm like, holy cow, that's not the coupe we all knew. He did not look
Even
comfortable, but
even where what did he ride? Paris?
yeah,
That
none
did
of it
not
looked
look
good.
good either. That was
Mm-mm.
only like a month and a half ago.
No, I don't know. And that's some of the stuff that just fascinates me, though. How do you stay that confident to know, oh, I still got it?
He's a
Like, he still
gamer.
believes it. And that dude, he's a gamer, dude.
That's the
He's a
epitome of
mental freak
gamer.
show. You damn right. Like he's a freak show when it comes to that, man. That stuff fascinates me. So I love getting into their head. And
Yeah.
he just you see him steaming after a race. He's all pissed off, and
Yeah, got
I love it.
second.
Fuck that
Furious.
second place. It's bullshit, man.
Furious. Yeah, I agree with that. Um, yeah, I like to look at, which last year I did a bunch of videos saying how people's seasons were going to go if their rides were their girlfriends. So it was like
Okay.
they just got with this, or like their relationship. So they're like, they just got a new chick. This one stayed with the old
Yeah.
chick, but they were fighting. And um,
Right. Yeah. He's back with his ex though. So
exactly.
this is crazy.
Yeah,
That normally doesn't work out, but man, you could just see that it was a very toxic relationship.
that's
There was a
right.
lot of just fire and ice. So
But
and he's back, man. He's just
he left. She got some upgrades. And he was like,
yeah.
oh,
I like what I'm seeing here.
yeah, that's a good job. You made some
Yeah.
improvements,
Yeah.
babe.
Yeah, that 40-year-old body, you got that thing banging out to about a 28 now.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
looking good, dude.
She's
Looking
retired
good.
now and just going to the gym. That's it.
Yeah. You got a big settlement. She's got money. She doesn't need you. Like, hop on that gravy train, dude.
Yeah.
Let
Um,
him pay the bills.
but yeah, I like to look at everybody how they're going to do by what I feel like their mental state. Because like I think going into the season, you're like Jet's gonna crush, and then
Just put
now
his name on the trophy.
all of a sudden it's
Oh,
like
God.
there's little, like I think now I'm not saying he's gonna like get, because I've heard people that are like, he's not even gonna get top three. I don't think that,
Get out of
but
here.
I
Right.
think that at least he's gonna have to recalibrate a little bit. And now even realizing, that like Jason Anderson doesn't give a fuck. And those guys,
No,
don't care.
Justin Parsha, you ain't had to run in with that
Yeah,
guy. Justin
exactly.
Parsha don't give a shit. He's there waiting for you as well. He's
Yeah.
going to give you the business. He might be the hardest dude to pass. Him and Anderson are fucking hard to
I would
pass.
say though, well, Freezy's pretty
True
hard to
too.
pass.
Oh well, yeah. He's got a very high depth count there. He's got a big body count. That dude he's something else, and I love it. Like I know people get all pissy, but dude, why was Supercross so badass in the '90s? Because Larry Ward and Jeff Matasevich are fist fighting. David
Dude.
Bellman and K Dub are wiping each other
Yeah.
out. Give me all that.
Yep. The Beast and Matasevich are just
Everybody.
sawing each other's front ends off every week. I agree,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's
what
how
we
I
told Wygant last night.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
That's how I grew up racing because of them. Just
Yeah,
hacking people
insane.
off.
Like, crush them, run. Yeah, take that front wheel off. Like, and we told Weege, I'm like, dude, you're so damn lucky. Your first race, you get to just all this drama is on a platter for
Yeah,
you. Like,
that's true.
pick a storyline, dude. You want the Jet storyline? Awesome. You want Cooper Webb redemption? Awesome. What about Kenny Roxon? Holy shit, that
Dude.
dude's incredible right now. Eli Tomac struggling right now. All right. Chase Sexton, number one plate, finished
But
eighth. Like,
even
there's so many.
even the Webb Sexton Lapper deal.
Yep.
There's a lot of things, a lot of different, like you said, storylines for this week where it's like, what do we
Lucky.
talk about? Even
Yeah.
just the internet blew up with Jet and Cooper, and they're like,
Jason.
oh yeah, AP won.
Oh yeah, that's the fourth best story, and it should be the
Yeah,
best. Like it's
yeah.
the best feel good story, but that doesn't sell. So
Any other week,
yeah,
that's the biggest
uh,
story, period.
yeah, and I'll tell you this, and I didn't, I like my our friend Jeremy works for Red Bull. He's like the guy. Like he literally told us while we were texting. He goes, "See that cowboy hat?" He goes, "I put that cowboy hat. I had to build him three cowboy hats in my house. Like I had to go buy and get the patch and glue it on for him and blah blah blah." So he's the guy responsible for that. And he goes, "Dude, we have all these pieces built for AP, all these really sad pieces where if he's leading." And they got all these pieces already built up video wise. Oh, well, let's go back to Detroit. Oh, you know what I mean? So, and they're
Uh,
like, well, that's all useless now because he got that win out of the way. So
yeah,
there's so many cool little storylines in the background that shit people are doing, behind the scenes.
yeah. Those editors are furious. They're like, I
Damn
spent
it.
all this time searching for this footage.
Yes, we're going to milk this. If he ever leads a race and doesn't win, we got so much good material for it.
Would
But
be
yeah,
like
he's already got that out
loser
of the way.
again.
Please, we can sell this for 6 more weeks, man.
But I like, and I mean, it's a brought up theme, but like they're like $1,000 fine to each, which I don't think Anderson should have gotten a fine because he was already yanked on. So then he's just like retaliated, kind of. So I don't
Yeah.
necessarily agree with that. But I guarantee you, I will bet you $1,000 that they run that clip next
A
week
million.
over
Yeah.
and over.
Yes. Yeah. You've seen that. The NFL, like, oh, we're all about safety. And they show are the 1990s biggest hits of the NFL.
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
dudes getting their heads blown off. So,
yeah,
of course,
exactly. That
yeah, they
guy
like,
can no longer
you
read.
see, yeah, he can't read. And he has spit running out of his mouth. But let's take another look, a different angle of Joe Theismann's leg breaking right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. And then, oh crap, what was I going to say? Oh, NASCAR. NASCAR blew up. Remember that one fight they had back in like 1981? Like these dudes crashed way off to the side of the track, and they get out of the car and they just start going. They said NASCAR's ratings went from that point forward.
Dude.
So yeah, they're going to run that. Weston Pike beating the shit out of Vince Freezy. That thing has got 5 hours viewing time on Supercross. I guarantee we watched it 5 hours worth on
Dude,
that rate from.
I mean, I guess you can't incentivize that stuff. Maybe we should. We need to start an alternate league.
Gambling funding type deal where you buy in and you can pay dudes to like just crush dudes.
Yeah, Vince Freezy is like, you've ever seen the movie Death Race where they send the semi out to just fuck
Yeah.
everybody up? That's Vince's job. We just have him on a extra wide bike with like leg protection, so he doesn't even need to worry about foot pegs or anything.
Get hurt. And he doesn't worry about finishing. Like he literally
Yeah, he's already
crowdfund him.
paid.
If he gets crowdfunded $10,000 and his light turns green, like during the race, once he reaches that number during
Ooh,
the race and it turns green, you're like, oh shit. He's legit now, boys. He can start just zigzagging and just
yeah,
oh shit. He's like an obstacle on the racetrack.
exactly.
We've
And
reached that oh, and here we are. And why get well, it looks like Vince Freezy is now a rolling
all of a sudden you
obstacle on the
just
racetrack.
hear burp, 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 and the lights start going off. And we're like, oh shit, Vince Freeze being
Oh
released
shit.
onto the track.
Yeah, it's like that nuclear.
Yeah. And
Dude,
everybody's
that'd
like,
be funny.
yeah. And here he
Oh
comes.
shit!
Full
You
black
have entered
outfit, full black
Thunderdome.
motorcycle.
Yeah, so he's not even on the racetrack. He's just sitting up way high up in his
Yeah.
long and it's black and darked out. And then when it lights the fuck up and he goes,
That's it. Right into the
uh,
lead group. uh,
and then he gets $1,000 for every kill. And then if he takes your guy, then you bet on that guy, then you get money kicked back to you for betting he might take Christian Craig out or something.
and
This is like
then,
Terror Dome,
yeah.
Thunderdome.
Yeah. And everybody's on performance enhancing drugs. Everyone. I want the best athletes I can get. That's it. There's none of this
All right,
fairness.
we got to start an alternative like XFL did, like where there's guys with crazy names they can pick dudes up and throw them, and it's
Yeah.
kind of legit football.
XMX.
XMX arena cross 2 turns, just a fucking circle track, just opportunity after opportunity, and you just release dudes into this shit show, like 10 guys all trying to avoid getting killed.
It's like instead of like triple crowns, we have where they just race in the wall of death.
Yeah, a big wall of death, and they have coffins. Like they throw a dude 10 coffins laid up on the side of the track. You just dump them in a coffin.
There they just they just drop Vince Freezy from like the rafters past everyone. He's not even riding around. He's just like free falling through the thing, catches people.
You ever wonder why you don't make money doing this? This is why.
No, I've realized it. Actually, I know exactly why. Originally, the first 111 Two Wheels to Freedom podcasts, we were drunk by the end. And
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Those are fun though.
You're not shitting me, but nobody wants to advertise
You don't want to
on
watch
that.
a drunk guy talk? What's wrong with you, man?
Nobody wants to advertise on two drunk guys talking to a drunk rider that they're interviewing. We used to be like, listen, we really encourage you to have a drink with us. So then some
Every
people,
time we drink, you drink.
yeah. So some people by the end were
Absolutely.
just worse than us.
Yeah.
But it's bad when
back
the
in
hosts are hammered by the
throwing
end of the
up.
show. We never
I don't want to see
achieved that
anybody
level
throw.
of greatness.
We had one guy throw up on our show. He called and like, man, I don't know if I'm feeling
On
good.
the phone.
Yeah, he threw up. I'm like, that dude just threw up for real. That was a pretty big moment for us.
What show
That's
was
why we never
that?
got any.
That was
DMXS.
okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
They'll do it. We do a little bit of drinking now like a couple, 2 or 3 beers at the most.
But you don't have call-ins because it's not live.
No, no, right.
Yeah.
Nope.
All
But it's
right.
fun.
Yeah.
John drinks Fireball.
Well,
That's a power drink. It's an energy drink. It's good. It's
yeah,
good for
it's
you.
just cinnamon. He just likes
Mm.
cinnamon.
Hmm.
Loves it.
Yep.
Um, how about rum chata? I don't know why
Dude, I
those
have some of that.
two sound familiar in my head. I realize they're nothing alike, but
Rum chata is delightful. I have some in my refrigerator right now. It's my Christmas drink. Like every year, I can't wait for Christmas to get here to get my rum chata and some Baileys and a little bit of vodka and mix it all up. It's a delightful little Christmas
you
drink for me.
bailed on America and eggnog and went
Yep,
Mexican.
straight rum chata.
You son of a bitch.
Yep, you Russian
You're a
Soviet
traitor.
spy piece
You
of shit.
do a white Russian with rum
Who are you supporting at this point?
chata. Where are your loyalties, Kevin? I just can't.
Whoever pays me, I'm a slave to the man, dude.
I hear you. Listen, what helmet is the best? I don't know yet. We'll see what
Let's
deal
try it
I
on.
get.
How many zeros are on that check? That big arrow helmet?
Yeah,
Count me in. Ugliest. That LS2, that's the ugliest helmet I've
it's an
seen. And
ugly
that's
helmet.
the Biaffi of today's helmet. It's
Yeah.
freaking hideous. I hate an LS2. What's your, it pisses me off when people buy those helmets. Like, stop doing that. You have shitty, I made a post on our Instagram. I said, if you bought this helmet, you have shitty friends. They should have told you that thing is garbage.
It's like they should have just been like, "You're not European, dude."
Stop it. He's got Wolf Sport on and an LS2. Like, get out of here with that. It's hideous.
uh,
Ah, that company is still around, Wolf Sport.
is it?
Yeah, go look it up. It's freaking hideous.
Is it still
Like what?
carried by any catalog? I don't know why I couldn't say that.
I don't know, but there was a guy in Alabama that was their distributor. Of course, makes total sense. But literally out of his basement, he was the Wolf Sport distributor. I'll get you set up, boy.
Dude, he was
The Wolf
sponsoring
Sport
all the.
Instagram.
He was sponsored the outlaw racing champions of the U.S.
Yeah, the World of Outlaws and then dirt track cars. That's about it. Wolf Sport. Look it up if you've never heard of it. It's the hit most. I know you know it, but
Oh yeah.
has there? What's the big Wolf Sport athlete? Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to Wolf Sport. You ever heard of that?
Didn't no, that was Wind had Joel Smets.
I honestly no, it was Oxbow was Sebastian Tortelli. I was going to be like Tortelli. He had Oxbow. Ugh, that was hideous
That
too.
is too.
It's terrible.
And then
That makes me angry. LS2 helmets are hideous.
they are. What why like even the Biafis or whatever. What
They're
kind of an
terrible.
idea was it to screw the front of the helmet on?
All of it. Like yes,
Like
everything's just one thing. Can't adjust it. The JT same deal. Like at least they had the visor set up right. That Biaffi thing, you had a very small field of vision. Couldn't even get goggles in there, man. You had to wear like
uh,
what,
their
what were
own
goggles from
goggles.
Home
That's why
Depot?
they did it.
Yeah, their own brand that would only fit their particular. Yeah, see, they're like the Apple of their generation.
Those son of a bitches.
They were smarter than us. They made a lot of money.
I know. This is what I've learned. It doesn't matter what we like. It's what everybody else likes. Or if you can convince them to like it, I guess.
Yeah, or if you get some dumbass influencer to wear it, like here we go. Mr. Beast likes it. Let's go, boys.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
Kanye West
Oh, you know,
should make helmets. That would be awesome.
yeah, he could do. Yeah, it could be the dumbest looking space outfit thing. Doesn't matter. That dude lived in the top of the Mercedes Benz Dome. Do you remember that?
No.
Look it up. Look it up. Like he lived in the Mercedes Benz Dome, rented it out for like 3 weeks or a month to live there, and wore like a Power Ranger suit that covered his whole face, like one spandex thing that went all over his body, and he would be walking around as this dude's a nut job. True story. Look it up. He lived at the Mercedes Benz Dome in Atlanta.
That's awesome.
To add to his many dumb things he's done. Have you
I'm
ever lived there? Have you ever lived at Mercedes Benz Dome?
no, but I mean I also am not a billionaire, whatever the hell he
Yeah,
is.
or you can do that. I want to live at the Dome. Sure, it's going to cost you, but we'll let
I
you
was
rent
gonna
it.
say,
Arthur
what's
Blank
that
says
cost?
yes, you can do it.
What's that
Yeah,
cost you?
I don't know, 5 million a week. Done.
Was it not
VRBO, the
open yet?
Mercedes. Huh?
Was it not open yet? Was it off season?
No,
Like, I'm
this is
really
nah,
intrigued in all this.
this is within the last 5 years. Within the last 5 years, he's lived at the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta. I know, dude. Look it up. You Google it. Everybody, all three people that are
All right,
watching this
I'm
right
gonna
now,
do
Google,
this.
do that. It's there. It happened. You can look it up. Show them right now. Did Kanye West live at the Mercedes-Benz Dome? He's doing it right now. And you'll see that slippery ass Power Ranger suit he wore. I don't understand it.
I can't spell, so that's probably half my problem with searching right now. Kanye
MERC.
West living in the Mercedes Benz. TMZ said it, so
It happened.
it's
It's true.
definitely true.
And it wasn't like lavish. I remember seeing like some bed in the corner of a little block room looking thing.
So apparently
Are you
Kanye
seeing it?
West is still walking around Mercedes Benz in his Donda release party outfit. Dude, so he was just like in there, and he has stockings over his head.
That's it. That's where I got the little whatever. Like he just robbed the Mercedes. He robbed the Mercedes Benz Dome and then just stayed there.
Dude. At that point, he's just like, this is my house
Yeah,
during a
dude. This is
game.
me. I'm squatter, baby. I'm here. Falcons, you're out. Kanye's in.
uh,
There you go.
shows off
Learn
his
something new.
room. Oh, I wanted to see the picture. Let's see if we can visit Instagram. Nope, it's not available.
Damn it. Not today, boys.
Not today, Satan. Not today.
Not today.
All right, Kevin. So who's winning this weekend before we go?
Before we go, man, probably Chet.
You think?
I mean, he's been really good, except for that one mud race. I don't want it. I just want parity. I want Cooper to win. Honestly, I love Cooper winning
I
because
want
he's not like dominant.
Roxon to win.
It's not a bad one either. That's another feel good story. I can get behind that. Why not Eli Tomac, Chase Sexton?
Yeah.
I
Well,
guess, and I
Eli
don't.
needs to do worse a little bit longer so that everybody can be once again behind Eli. He won too much. I guess I say that, but I imagine since the injury, more people are like rooting for him. You know, nobody
Yep.
can be too successful. We can't have that in this world
No,
because
can't
then
have
we're like,
that.
oh, fuck that guy. Ugh, I hope that he bike blows up on the face of a triple.
Yeah.
You know, like
Whoa.
I know,
Yeah,
just
like Home Depot. You're too big and too powerful. Let Lowe's in there. Let them get in there a little bit. So yeah, like Jet, and that happened with MC. I remember when he rattled off six in a row. I'm like, shit, man, this dude's really good, and totally eliminated Damon Bradshaw. Like Damon Bradshaw
yeah,
was there, and then he just said, "You're out. I'm in. You're get out of here." So yeah, there's that natural whatever of people not wanting this guy to win, and like Jet's done nothing to whatever this was. He was, whatever that is. I don't even know. He was a young kid. Like how many dumb things have you done as a kid?
dude.
Like I
I
did so much shit playing basketball. I've slapped people. I've done so much dumb shit, and it had nothing on the line. It was just a pickup basketball game.
Exactly. That's people
Dumb.
actually listen. I poke fun of everything, so like I'm
Yes.
gonna make
Nobody's in.
videos making fun of shit. Period.
Yeah.
No matter how I
Yes.
feel. But I like Jet. I like Jason. Like I like basically all these guys. The only one that I really Vince, the verdict is out. I feel like he's Nickelback
Yeah.
of motocross. But
Oh,
other than that, I really don't get mad at, like you said, I grew up in the 90s watching Supercross when everybody's just hacking each other's front ends off. So that stuff doesn't bother me. Um and I'm just like talking about the subjects themselves. But like, yeah, a 20-year-old when I was a 20-year-old, I was a dickhead. I definitely would have flown off the handle, especially if I was trying to go for a frigging championship and I felt like frustrated, he's probably had he had 2 3 bad weekends now, I guess, for him. Bad.
and when is the last time that's ever happened? I see that
Exactly.
with riders that have never learned how to lose. Like he has lost as a kid, but back in the day, and everybody says, "Oh, he's got this silver spoon." Bro, you don't know that dude and his
Yeah.
family barely lived off of nothing, sleeping on pool tables, on floors. Like they scratched and clawed to get to where they're at. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. But he's not a silver spoon baby. He earned that shit.
Yeah. But that's just
So
people saying those things, that it's silver spoon this and that, are just
they don't
people
know what
that
that.
want to be
I
mad
do.
at him
Yes.
because he's doing well, like It's
Yeah.
same thing. Like when
That's
I
a lazy argument. That's the same thing that people say, like, "Oh, if I had AC Superman,
yeah,
we would." No, you wouldn't have. That's a lazy argument.
exactly.
You're dumb. Your kid's either got it or he doesn't. Period.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have made the difference. He was 9 seconds faster on that bike. Wrong.
Right,
Wrong.
exactly. No, yeah, he worked hard and that's why he was faster.
Yeah.
And he had
And same
talent.
with Jason Anderson. Same with AC and all these people that say, "I think AC doesn't deserve a ride. I don't think Christian Craig." Like, okay, well then, who does, dummy? Like that's
Well,
dumb. Like
yeah. That's the thing. There's still the top 11 guys and all of those
it's
guys have
deep.
rides. Who else are
Yes.
you replacing them with? But it's like they think once somebody came up and they were like AC was supposed to be the guy,
Yeah.
right? So now that he's not and he's still a top what, 8,
Yeah.
top 8 supercross
In the
rider.
world.
We're like, you fucking suck, dude. You haven't won 3 championships yet? Like
Yeah, that the
what are you
classic guy
doing,
sitting
dude?
eating Cheetos watching an infomercial. Man, AC sucks. I'm like, bro, he's the eighth best on a bad day in the world ever.
Getting paid
Come on, man.
lots of money to go out and ride.
Yeah,
He might
yeah.
as
And those are
well
the
because he's not winning championships like
just
he was
quit.
supposed to. We might as well go and do sheetrock.
Yeah, this I literally, and I never do this ever on Twitter. This one guy posted on K Rock like right before the opening round, day of Anaheim won. K Rocks, you're washed up. You just need to quit. I'm like, the dude won a Supercross last year.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? And the dude goes like, he has a bunch of stuff on Twitter. I'm like, and then as soon as Ken Roxon wins the heat race that night, I'm like, so are we still thinking K Rock
Yeah.
needs to? And then he shut all his comments down and blocks everybody. I'm like, you're an idiot.
Really?
Like, yeah. So like, own that shit, dude. Own
Dude.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, what has he got? Nobody online can even see him anymore. He's online, but he's just basically invisible because he's blocked
Yeah.
everyone because of his
Yeah.
stupid opinions.
Well, watch Vince Freeze. His comments open up like he closes this thing down, opens and closes like Brett Favre retiring. Like he quit, he's back, he's in, he's out, he's in, he's out. Like his comments stop, they open up, he goes private. Like this dude just all over the place.
Yeah.
And but he really doesn't think it's like, oh, what's the problem? What, you can't just blast a guy and
Yeah.
just be cool. He does not. Vince is one of the few guys that's like, if he would just own it, like, yeah, dude, I am here to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
I'm here to take money out of your pocket, whatever way I got to do it. I would at least go. At least you know where you stand with this guy. This guy, when he sends you into the third row and knocks hamburgers out of people's hands, he's like, well, I don't. What's the problem, man?
I
I don't
just
get it.
well,
Oh,
I came in a little fast. I don't know. I just
you've done that every time, dude. Every pass you've ever made, your
uh,
kill rate is like, if you're like a fighter pilot, you'd have like 900 kills on your plane. Like nobody comes close to what you're doing. Nobody.
who has taken more people out, Barsha or Freeze?
Freeze all day,
You think so?
all day long. Yeah, man. Like
I feel like in the last couple of years he's really cranked his numbers up. And
Freeze
Barsha's
has.
gone in the other way.
Yeah, yeah. He's actually become faster. Like Freeze or Barsha had the whatever he was doing. Like he was doing it because that's the only way he could stay relevant or in the mix.
Yeah.
He's in the mix. Like this dude's getting podiums without doing anything. He can get a whole shot, finish second,
Yeah.
win it. You know what I mean? And Freeze, if he gets a whole shot, holy shit,
Yeah.
you better look out, boys, because you're getting it. Like ka-chow, ka-chow. Everybody's getting it,
Dude,
and
that's
I
the
am here
best
for it.
drinking game is just drink when
Let's
Freezy
figure
gets
out.
a hole shot and then drink every time he gets passed after he hole shots.
And then if he for every clean pass, you have to drink two for every dirty pass. It's three. So we're drinking no matter what. Like something's happening no matter what. You have like there's a drinking game out there. Bling. If they had some kind of counter that would pop up like during the race, bling, like a
Yeah.
beer symbol, you gotta go, boys.
That's what we
That would
need
be a
to.
great companion.
I was just gonna say we need to do the companion actually have sounds and be like ding
Ding.
ding.
Oh shit, the Vince Freezy clean pass, drink a beer app.
Well, that's
Somebody could easily do it.
yeah, somebody smarter than us.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up. We've done over an hour here. You can get
Man,
ready
see, is
for
that
your
easy?
important podcast tonight.
I've done no research, no zero research, nothing required. So
I
nothing
didn't
important
research
about it.
either, just because I know you,
Yeah.
and I was
I,
like,
I normally don't like to do that. I look a little bit, but like I like to just kind of do it on the fly. I would literally show up to DMXS. I didn't have to book the shows. Iser would book them. and I just get on the show. Like literally, we'd start the show. I'm like, all right, Dave, who do we got? No idea, no idea. And it works. Like it just keeps it fresh. Like
But
no
you,
scripted.
like I said, you are very quick, um, and funny. So I think that that's just you happen to be
Yeah, it helps.
fortunate in that in that regard, and be able to just pull off, making stuff fun and funny. So
Definitely helps. Definitely helps. And
not,
if I can't have fun with it, dude, I'm not doing it. Like I haven't gotten fired from a gig, but if they're like, hey man, you need to like just chill out a little bit, I'll be like, respectfully, I will finish the weekend out and we'll go our separate ways. I cannot do it if it's not fun.
yeah,
Like whenever I'm doing CPR, if I can't have some fun on a
yeah.
guy, like, hey man, how's it going?
You're like, listen to the beat.
One, two, let me tell you, I don't want people to think I'm morbid, but dude, I have all kinds of thoughts like that. Like there's a guy, like we give you Narcan, which is the drug that like if you OD on heroin. I'm a firefighter to remind everybody. So if we give you a Narcan, it will immediately separate the hemoglobin from the drug. Like it puts a barrier between the drug and the hemoglobin, and you are immediately sober like that. Like you could go take the SATs. I'm not joking at all. Like you could be almost dead, about to go into cardiac arrest. They give you Narcan. You could literally drive to Walmart, get you some shit, go back home, and everything's good.
Yep.
That it's that. So I've always wanted to do this and like go once we get them in the ambulance and they wake up. I'm like, hey man, what happened in there? And just have them go, what are you talking about? I said, dude, it's a bloody mess in that house right now. You murdered like 9 people. What? Like I want to see them kind of freak out. I'm just kidding, man. I'm just funning with you. I just wanted to. I've never done that, but I want to do that. And they'll, I might get in trouble, but they'd be like, well, who do you believe, this guy or me? I didn't do that. But now it's recorded on this podcast, so.
Yeah.
But I will at some point. I will go, man. I don't know what you were doing in there, but you hacked off everybody's heads like it's a mess. So
Once they're
enjoy your
drunk
ride at the
enough.
hospital.
Oh no, after they
Yeah,
get Narcan, you mean?
yeah. After they get Narcan, they come
Yeah.
to and they're clean and they can, kind of take everything in.
I
I
like
wanted
that
to
you had
kind
to
of run.
preface that you're like, I'm a firefighter, but I've seen where they're like, everybody should be walking around with Narcan. And I'm like, what do we live in fucking Gotham City? Like, what the hell is going on? You're going to end up,
It's pretty much like that. They have little Narcan stations. You just go get your Narcan.
dude,
They hand it out like whatever, like Narcan
I can
vending
see it
machine type
now.
bullshit.
They're,
It's in New
they're,
York.
they're interviewing this lady and she's like, I saved that guy's life or whatever, And then this guy's like, they're like, what happened? He's like, I don't know. I was just asleep on the fucking bench. And next thing you
This
know,
lady Narcan me. Well, here's the thing: like Narcan only works on opioids. So when
Mm,
people go, "Oh, man, I wasn't doing nothing," I'm like, "Bro, you're almost
yeah,
dead, and the only reason it works is because you're on opioids.
got it.
Wouldn't work on weed or beer, nothing like that. It's just
Good.
opioids." So that's how we know, and we don't care. Like half the time, we're like, "Hey, man, I don't care if you're on drugs. The law's not coming. We don't care. I just got to know how to help you."
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
man, I didn't take nothing. I'm like, "All right, man, well, you're gonna die because you're a dummy.
yeah, yeah. You're like, I'm not the police.
Just
I'm
tell
here
me.
to
Let me
help.
help you."
Be like, do you have
I
any
just want to make.
more?
Do you have more, and where is it? So I can use it for medicinal purposes.
My leg hurts.
Ouch.
All right. Well, so where do you want to send everybody to find you on the interwebs?
Uh, MySpace, hot or not. Remember that?
That was mean. Okay.
Hot or not. Give me a rating, dude. Tell me what you think. Our Instagram, our Twitter, or Spotify. I guess our show's on Spotify. You can subscribe to the
I
Verb
guess our
Podcast
show is
Network.
on
I
Spotify.
think so. I just upload it and they put it. It's on the Verb Podcast
Oh,
Network,
that's
so it's
right.
on Verb. Yeah, so you can find it there. Or just search "Winners Take Y'all." And I'll tell you this: one of my favorite guests for the year coming up. I haven't told anybody this, but I have confirmation from Bad Billy Robinson. I found the guy on the internet and I reached out to him. He responded and he's going to be on our show. So
Awesome.
I don't really know what to do with it just yet in terms of like, do I approach it like Bad Billy? It's been a
Like
long
he's
time. Like, we don't
actually
even know
Bad
you.
Billy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of what I want to do for the first bit and
Yeah.
few minutes of the show. And I'm going to tell him that. So up front. So look, we're going to come at you like you're Bad Billy Robinson. So
I don't think you should. I think you should just start questioning him like you believe
see
he
the
is
the
Bad Billy
awkwardness
Robinson.
of it or whatever.
He's just like, that was a character 35 fucking years ago, dude.
Listen, we all have different phases of our careers, Billy. So I understand you trying to separate yourself from your motorcycle career. Now your evangelical career, he's like an evangelist, or he's a big Christian guy. So can't go too hard on him. But I don't. I want to do something creative. Like we're going to do it right before Dallas Supercross. Obviously, it makes the most sense. So and that's coming
Dallas
up. So yeah, yes,
Supercross.
Supercross.
Like it's
These
the
are the
only one.
ones.
They go
The
Dallas
only
and they
one.
go
That's
Supercross.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, and we've got
Supercross.
great stories of that. Like we had Bailey on, and he talked about Rick Johnson was there, kind of helping as a creative director. Like, hey, this is how it should be. Don't do this because it's dumb. But like, um, David was in his hotel room, and Rick calls him. Rick Johnson. He goes, "Hey, man, they're filming this movie over here. You want to come check it out?" And he goes, "No, you're not going to get paid. They may ask you to do stuff, but you're not getting paid." And then Bailey, eventually, his dad goes, "All right, let's go get your bike." He goes, "Hey, man, I'm in this shit." And Rick goes, "Well, you're not getting paid, so just understand that." And then later on, David goes, "Well, I got paid, and Rick didn't." So all this shit that Rick was like, "You're not getting paid." David Bailey got checks for years after that,
Oh
and Rick
shit.
didn't. And David had no speaking parts. But then he goes, if you watch that Supercross that night, Dallas, David says that David Bailey goes, I won. And Rick Mellon, who we got to be buddies with that day, he goes, I couldn't shake the guy. Like he was up on the podium with me, like literally
Oh
in the
shit.
broadcast. He's like, yeah, like he's part of the crew or whatever. So I
What
never
year
knew
is that?
that. So you got to go
85
back.
or something?
I think it's 86, 85, 86 Dallas Supercross. So you'll see Rick Mellon like, yeah, David. Like, so go
That's
check that out.
hilarious, dude.
Yeah, and then it's like just and if you hear Rick's version of it, like he came out of the bathroom and made him look stupid, like he just took a shit or whatever. It's just some bizarre points that you never would have heard, had they not had their perspective on it. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Awesome.
Winners take y'all.
Yeah, everybody tune in to Winners Take Y'all. And like I said, if you need to go in and actually watch Kevin work on his own, on your own format, because you're funnier
I
than on
now to
my podcast. You've been holding back here.
oh not well.
No,
Those dudes are funny too, though. You would be fine though if you came into mine. You know how it is when you get interviewed. It's so
I know. I'm
bizarre
just
being on
fucking
this.
with you.
It's weird, but like if you came to ours, I would just throw you on the mic with us, and you would just run with us. I wouldn't even think twice about letting you in on our deal. So if you're ever in Atlanta, by all means, jump in with us. You
I
ever
would
come down here
love
anymore? Or you
to.
try to avoid this racist town of ours?
No, I just haven't made it over there, but I would love to. I actually do know somebody with a bar down there I was thinking about trying to sell the Harley jump to. So if that happens, I'll let you know for sure.
We'll help you out with that. And if you do Day in the Dirt, let me know because we're a big part of that. We're going to bring our show. We'll do it from down there, and you bring your Harley and race that shit or whatever.
That's what my
You
thought
should.
was. Okay.
It's like it's super rough, but who cares? Like just whatever. You're just sticking around anyway. Drink a beer every lap.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
they hired me to do Day in the Dirt the first time I ever went to Glen Helen to do it. And the email says, look, we're going to give Kevin a cooler full of beers and a four wheeler, and he's just going to go out way out into the track. And I just handed beers out. They paid me to just hand beers out during the race from Red Bull. Like that's how rad that company is
awesome.
and that event. So
Yeah.
anything I can do to help you with that, brother, do it.
Okay. Well, I got CRF 450 forks on that bad boy, and I bought some of that Race Tech shocks. So
Oh yeah, you
it's
can ride that,
won't
man.
be too bad. It's not
No,
like
it's
a
not like straight
stock.
up Harley.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
So,
John's got that damn gold wing, or we haven't figured out what to do with. Some guy gifted him a gold wing.
uh-huh.
Like John's got so many motorcycles. He's got this fucking gold wing. I'm like, we've got to do something with this gold wing. Like all three of us ride on it at once and do a podcast as we go down the road, or something has
Yeah.
to happen with that gold wing.
You need to
A
sidecar it
pod,
so then you guys can all be.
we could really do that. Like do a podcast while you're on a gold wing
Yeah.
driving somewhere.
I can
Because
tell you
art
people are going to get mad at the wind noise.
is it, you think it's too much?
I yeah. I mean, I guess if you got
Even with
like those
those Carta systems, what we're going
that's
to
what I
use.
was just going to say. If you had an
Yeah.
actual helmet mic system, maybe it would
Yes.
not be as
Yeah. Like
bad.
no, we're not holding them. This windscreen sucks.
Here we are going down
We're on 75
I
south.
20.
Let this guy over. Yeah. So that's our thought. Like that's our next phase of this show is like and Ricky's already agreed to do it. We've got those three XR250s. If you look at our Instagram account,
Yep.
they went and bought three XR250s, matching XR250s, 86 models. And we're going to take those bikes over to Wyndham. He's going to ride with us and video, and we're all going to have cartas and let him talk about how shitty we are. Like, that's my goal is to get made fun of by Kevin Wyndham and other guys and interview them while we're riding some shitty little whatever. and having Wyndham go, dude, get out of the way. You suck so bad. It's my goal. So
I
that's
feel
what
like
we're
Kevin's
gonna
too
do.
nice to do that.
No, he's a savage. He did some stuff to me at Loretta's this year. I'm like, dang, his wife goes, Kevin. Like he said something because he was in the booth with us all week and he said some stuff. I'm like, all right, I see where you like he was pretty ruthless. It was pretty awesome. I enjoyed it. His wife goes, like whispered at him, like, don't you do that. That's mean
So
to me.
very short, Kevin Wyndham. I keep saying we're gonna go, but
I don't
um,
care.
I met Kevin Wyndham at the Race of Champions in New Jersey the year he
Yeah,
turned pro when he was that 5'10" on the Cowie and he hole
yeah,
shot and
yeah.
led most of the race. Um,
95?
yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe it was no, I think it was 95. He was at the Race Champions. I ended up going over and I don't even know how I ran into him, but we started talking and we literally just hung out all day. Like we'd do our motos and then I'd go over there and we'd sit there and bullshit. And that was the
Totally.
only time I've ever talked to, hung out, anything. But all day we just kept meeting up in the stands and bullshitting or going over the truck, and that was it.
Dude, I don't doubt it. That guy is truly, hey, the coolest, and he's super funny, down to earth. Like he was up at Loretta's this year, and we were watching Mike Brown, and he's watching. I said, "You want some of that smoke?" He goes, I've got to stop this. He goes, I have to stop this. He goes, I'm in the best shape of my life. He's running marathons. He's like
Oh
super
yeah,
fit. He goes, I can put a stop to this next year. I'm like, Dottie's up there. He goes, Dottie, what do you think? I'm like, the whole week we're like, Dottie, come on, man, like let Kevin play. Like
yeah,
we gotta
please,
please let him do this. So we try to. He was super close at Loretta's. I'm like, I'm going to say this over the mic that you're doing this, so you've got to make this happen.
dude.
He's one of the few guys that can shut the Mike Brown thing down.
Because he's one of Mike Brown's an animal, right?
Yes,
Kevin Windham is like one of the most talented motorcycle riders ever.
yes.
So I think if he got in super good shape, for sure, Kevin would. You'd have a hard time with Kevin Windham.
Well, he even said it. He goes, I've got it. He goes, Lars gave me a bike. He goes, I've got a very good Honda at home. And he's running marathons. He goes, I'm as light as I was. Like, you look at him and he is extremely fit. He goes, I need to do something with his fitness. Like, he literally just ran a Christmas, New Year's Day marathon. I'm like, yeah, man, give us that. And I was
Yes.
standing next to Dane Bradshaw. I said, you want some of that? He goes, I can handle it. He goes, but I don't want to commit. He goes, I'd have to start right now. This dude's getting gate drops every weekend, Mike
Yeah.
Brown.
Yeah.
He goes, and Bradshaw was like, for me to go after that dude, he goes, I would have to just put the hammer down right now and get ready now. And but Damon's not by any means not fit. Like he's fit,
Yeah.
but there's a different fitness. That fitness at Loretta's is nasty.
Yeah.
That's so nasty. That Loretta's is nasty. Hard
Well,
as
the
shit to win that.
yeah, it's hot, sticky. The track looks
It's
super
ruddy as
deep,
shit.
sticky. uh,
Yeah,
and
I'm not being hateful here, but like I don't look at that track. Like I go from Mammoth Mountain to Loretta's, I get to Dayton, all these other cool events, and I'm like, that track for me is probably the least fun, and it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be hard,
yeah,
and it's supposed to generate great champions, and it does its job. But like in terms of the racetracks I'd want to ride, that's like number 400 on my list.
yeah,
Like Mammoth Mountain, give me that one all day long. She's beautiful, super chill. It's not chopped up and just karate chopping you the whole time. That's a tough ass race, Loretta's.
yeah, for
Hate it all
sure.
you want. That bitch is the real deal.
Yeah, I think it's good as far as the way the format is to actually be like
Decide.
decide because the format, uh, where it
Length of
is,
moto.
you're going to get a rain day.
Yep.
It's going to be
It's
hot
gonna
as
be
shit.
700 degrees. Yep.
Exactly, and that dirt is sticky and deep.
There's nothing. There's nowhere in America that you can replicate that. All these people are like, yeah, we got this place. No, you do not. You and I love seeing people that have come there for the first time, and I'm like, I've been telling them, like, dude, this is the deal. Like, they walk the track, they're like, that's it. Like, because when you walk it, it looks like, oh,
Yeah, yeah,
okay, the jumps are about that tall, nothing huge, no ups and downs. Or like, how can it get? And you've seen it on TV at this point. There's no secret now. That bitch after practice is just, it's nothing but this
yeah,
all the way around that thing. You never can just go, whoo.
yeah.
There's nowhere to rest on that track
Exactly. And also just the fact of the sheer number of people. What
on that
other
racetrack.
race do you have that many people go out and ride it in a day?
That many good people.
Right.
That many good people. 41. It's full gates every time for 15 minutes all day long from 7 to 7.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Of the
Good luck.
best,
Of the
fastest
best.
people in the United
Yep.
States.
And if you're
sometimes
an
the world.
80cc rider coming up after the Bs, the vets, and all that, well, that track's laid out for 450Bs, vet riders, and now you're coming in with your KX 85 going,
Yeah.
this is weird. I can't, this berm doesn't make sense. There's so many factors to that thing. It's wild. It is so wild.
That's the debate, right? Do you let the novice out first to dry everything up and then they make all the turns like
They're pretty
fucking
good about laying they're good about laying the racetrack and the event out in such a way where you'll finish up with the like a schoolboy B A track maintenance for 30 minutes, 85s, C class, then a vet, you know what I mean? They kind of work their way back in. So it's not like the pro class coming in after the 65s, like these lines
Yeah,
make
yeah.
no sense to us. And they always finish up the super tough bitching classes right before track maintenance. So that it's gnarly, super sketched, smooth it out,
Yeah.
and then
And
let's
send
get back
the
again.
newer
They've
kids
gotten that
out.
down to a science. They did not always do that. They've really worked that thing into just perfection, honestly.
But I have
And
gone to tracks where they let the novices practice first. And
absolutely.
I could not, which is good because I don't want to, when I was a pro, I don't want to suck up all the mud. But at the same time, I kept
Well,
going through this turn and there was a corner marker on the inside. It was just like a stake. And it wasn't that, which normally they're just like, they're not round. They're like just
yeah,
L's.
pointy.
I kept going into this turn. There was a stake in the center, and there was a tire on top of the stake, and I kept smashing into it with my shoulder. I had to and I'm like, what? How did this even happen? Then I watched the novice moto, and he was just stood upright, both
Straight
feet
up.
down. Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's how
Yeah.
you got so close to that corner
Yeah.
marker.
You couldn't lean into it because you'd
Yeah,
hit it. Yep. That's it. Yeah. They've got that figured out. All you other tracks should do that too, man. Coming from a racetrack promoter standpoint, like, dude, figure your practices out, all that shit. There's a science to it, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. They're doing it. Like they've
yeah,
showed you the template.
yeah,
God, and I will say this: all you tracks out west, why? Like I've been to Glen Helen on a Thursday. There's some dork like me out there with Davey Millsaps. I'm like, how does that happen? I don't understand why all the OEMs, Gas, Honda, Triumph, all those dudes don't get together every Tuesday and Thursday and rent that
rent
track
the
out for
track.
just those dudes. That's it from 10 to noon, 2 hours, just us. And then after that, so you don't take the whole day.
Yep.
We give them $5,000 for that little time slot. We beat the shit out of the track, beat each other up. We don't run over Johnny Blue Jeans and Timmy PW and all those
Yeah.
guys because it happens. Like you hear this shit all the time. Dudes getting landed on and
Well, I was just
nonsense.
thinking that I don't and I'm decent. I'm not sure I want to be out there when those guys fucking whizzing by me. You know what I mean? I'm definitely
No,
gonna feel like I'm in the way.
yeah, for sure. I would too. Just get me out of the way. So I still don't understand why that's a thing, but apparently it is. Like just all the OEMs get together, pull your money together, and then just have an open ride for all your factory dudes for 2 hours twice a week on those rough tracks.
Do you think they won't do that? I mean, I feel like they're still at the track together at the same time, but there's other people there, so you can't watch other people as much or something. I feel like they wouldn't do it just because they're gonna steal our suspension settings with binoculars from the other
They're
side
out
or
there
something.
together. No, they're out there together. They're all kind of
Yeah, so then it doesn't make any sense. They might as well just
no
rent the
rent it
track.
out and be done with it.
Yeah.
I know Triumph's doing some cool shit. We had Bobby Hewitt on, and I was like, dude, because he's on the East Coast. They're down at Matt Walker's old place. They bought Matt Walker's
Okay.
place, or
Etchicone
leasing it or
or
whatever. No, Matt Walker's training facility.
okay.
So he has a big 150-acre multi-track training facility that's uh, Triumph bought, and they've turned it into this Triumph World headquarters. You'll be able to go down and ride bikes, have
Awesome.
dinners, and it's gnarly what they're building. It's like the Porsche experience up near Atlanta.
But
So
for
anytime for motorcycles,
yeah.
off-road street, any kind of motorcycle Triumph sells, there will be something for you to ride at this facility. They'll do North American things there with all the Triumph dealers come and ride the bikes, have big dealer meetings. It's a beautiful facility now,
Awesome.
what they're doing for to it. But I'm like, dude, well, how are we in this day and age and hunting down dry tracks? Like, why are we not? Why has no one built a covered? He goes, I'm like, oh, you guys are finally going to cover a practice supercross track with a
Damn.
single span open. Well, like, of course you are.
Yeah.
Of course, Triumph's going to be the first one to do it. Like all the guys in California right now had to all just head for the hills because it's so muddy. Everybody
Ducati
to
is
go.
going to buy the Mercedes-Benz Dome, and they're just going to go in there.
They're going to share it with Kanye and just back and just train right there with him. Yeah,
I
I
had
just can't believe.
I had this epiphany long time ago when I was still doing freestyle. I was like, we need to buy an agricultural building, like with, like you said, top, sides open,
Yeah,
or maybe just
yeah,
sided in, and then just turn the lights on and do meth and ride for a month straight, because that would be like five
a year worth
years
of
of
training,
progress. The progress.
dude. And you're hyped up on meth, so
Yeah. You could just ride, that's what I'm saying. You just ride 24 hours
yeah.
for like a week. Then you take sleep for a couple days, and then you do it again. But in that month, you've been able to
Holy
jam in
cow.
like years worth of practice.
Yeah, it's like dog years. Like this
Yeah.
guy's so good. He just started. He's been riding for 6 weeks. Like this guy's incredible.
Yeah.
He's really skinny. He's got sores on his face, but he's fucking good,
But
man.
he's good as shit. Just don't
Y'all
let
got
him
any
take
more of them
his
triple
helmet off.
jumps?
You got one of those front flip ramps?
Woo, yeah. All right, I think this is a good place to shut it down. We
That's
talked
a
about
good. We
meth. We
talk
got
about
it all in.
meth, indoor riding facilities, and meth. That's probably.
Methacross. Let's do that.
That's our series.
Methacross.
Methacross. And when
Vince Freezy.
Vince Freeze, we meth him up and then
Hmm?
send him out in the fucking.
Wipe, wipe them dudes out. Count me in. Count me in.
Dude, it's taken over the nation. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for hanging out. Please go watch, listen. You guys got video?
Yeah,
Winners take
we
y'all?
just now started it just
Awesome.
on YouTube on the whatever. So it's just us. I don't know if you want to look at us or not, but there's also the audio version too. So I wouldn't want to see us, but some people do.
Oh, because the other guys are just calling in.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. We don't do this cool thing.
I beamed you in from outer space, so guess I'm
Sounds good.
very
Pretty awesome.
successful. All right, that's it, everybody. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, check out Winners Take Y'all. And also, if you go to any amateur nationals, this is the guy talking. So if he says anything rude, you know who to be mad
My my name is Wes King. Yep.
at.